Hi everyone, this is Howlak again, and welcome to another Java tutorial session. In the last tutorial, I left off at I added an action listener. Well, I added a few action listeners just to demonstrate uh, that there exists a list of listeners for a given component. Okay, so for our text field, I added two. Okay, so it's just a listen based on certain events. Um, the proper handler or listener will carry out um, the right action, okay, depending on how the developer wants it. Okay, so for our purposes here, I added an action listener for the contact button. Okay, but I didn't put anything in here, so if we type if we press the button right now, it won't do anything. So let's rectify that. Okay. Um, okay, so well, let's add a contact, right? So we have our contact here. Okay, so it's just given name, surname, mobile, and email. Okay, so let's do that. So contact book, right? So that's what we call our array list. And we're going to do an add. I'm going to add a new contact. Okay. And the new contact, what we want to do is we want to retrieve the information entered in by the user. Okay. And now the Java API gives us methods to actually retrieve this data. Okay, so and it's call intuitively get text, and so our text field there. And we can also get surname dot get text. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the next line, and the same thing as mobile, since that was also a text field as well, and email as well. And text. All right, so that's what we have. All right. So what we've done here is that what we did is we're going to add a new instance of contact to contact book. Okay, and here we've actually just retrieved the data that the user enters. Okay, so now what I want to do is create a very simple pop-up box. Okay. Okay, so it's J option pane and display. I'm just going to display something really simple. There's different types of pop-up box. Once you can enter input. Okay, so retrieve input from the user. Okay, so you can consider them as little mini GUIs. Okay, to retrieve information. Now the option box actually takes a number of arguments, and the first one is you're just going to use null. Now the first one is actually it asks for a parent component, right? And if I just put null, it'll just center at the middle of the screen. Okay, so it's basically it's in relation to the parent component. Okay, so set to null. Not interested where it's going to pop up. And the next argument is the actual output that you're going to see in the box itself. Because I'm just going to pull up the given name. Okay. So now, since I made the fields public. All right. Not public. Sorry. I allowed some accessors. Right, so I'm just going to get it from the contact book itself since we added it. So get, and I know this is going to be the first one. Right, so because I'm going to get one, I'm going to just get name. Okay, so that's the second argument, get name. Okay, so it's going to display that. The third argument is actually the title for the pop-up. I'm just going to say contact. Okay, and the last one is how do you actually the last option, let's go with that, is the last argument is some simple how do you want to display it, what will happen, right? So what I want to do is just display a plain message. Okay, so these are some of the options. Right, so you're really into delving into what this thing does exactly, this message show message dialog. Just go to the Java API. Okay, try not to memorize things, but know what they're used for. Okay. Okay, so that's what we have right now, right? And well, if I try to run this now, it won't work because oops, I actually added this in. Okay, what I want to do is get rid of this so I can demonstrate that. All right, how to auto generate that. All right. Well, okay, so now I didn't. You try to run this now the way it is. You can't run it. Okay. There's no main. I deleted our main. Okay. And in IntelliJ, the way you do it is that you place your cursor anywhere in the class, right, for this form that you want to generate. So for this GUI, and press. For me, it's Command N on a Mac. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is strange. Oh, there it is. Sorry, you can't place just anywhere. But what I'm looking for is this form main here. Okay, this form main, and this will auto-generate the main for you. Okay, and if you look at this piece of code here, it says JFrame, so which is what we extended, right? We inherited from JFrame. It's the ultimate container where our GUI will be placed in, and when you invoke set content pane and we instantiate our GUI object here, new contact, right? And we're going to place the root panel, right? So you remember that was the main panel up here, so that was our root panel, all right? Into this JFrame. And then we're going to make sure that when we have a default, what happens when we close it, right? So we're just going to exit. Okay. And this next method is pack. Okay, so it's going to push all the components inside the panel together and make it look nice. Okay, so you want to know more about pack. So there's a really long description in the Java API. And of course, this one is self-explanatory, set visible to true, and yes. Okay. So now I'm going to run this. Okay. I'm going to run this. Give it a bit of time, and there it is. Right. So sometimes when you run it, you got to be careful that because you deleted the original main, the runner may actually still be looking at that main. Okay, so it's you get an error, just make sure you're running the right one. Okay, so now I'm going to enter my main. I'm not going to enter my phone number. I'll keep getting out of calls. You're playing joke on me. And my email address. Okay. And then just new content. And look at that. See, it popped up because we use null as the first argument, and it's in the center of the screen. Okay. And of course, if I try to press null op, it wouldn't work. Okay. All right. So that's what we have, right? And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to create GUI on some event handling related to GUIs. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.